And that's Malabina. She was the first local woman to go to the top of Uganda's highest peak, and it was hilarious because she didn't even know what that sign meant. I was like, here, hold this. But the big takeaway for me from this experience was ask the question. Because it really wasn't that hard to change things for women in Western Uganda. It just took one person to ask one question, and I was kind of surprised that nobody had ever asked it before. And just because something's always been done a certain way for years and years and years doesn't mean it's the best way to do things today or the best way to do things moving forward. And I think that the only way progress happens is when people ask questions. So one question I get all the time is, would you ever want to go back to Mount Everest? And typically my answer is always no. I tell people all the time, look, I've spent 2 months on that mountain. I don't really feel like I need to spend another 2 months there just to go the last couple hundred feet. Kind of feel like I had the whole Everest experience already, and occasionally I would get the urge to go back, but usually it's only when someone's kind of giving me a hard time about the trip. Maybe I'll be at a dinner party or something, and the host of the dinner party will be introducing me to the other guests, and he'll say, oh, this is my friend Allison. She climbed Mount Everest. And then the guy sitting across the table from me will say, oh, no way, all the way to the top? Right, so then you have to say, well, no, we actually had to turn around a couple hundred feet from the top in a storm. Oh, so you didn't climb Mount Everest. Like, no. I mean, I told him the whole story about how we spent 2 months on the mountain, got that close, just had bad luck with the weather. I gave him the whole lecture about getting to the top is optional, getting down is mandatory. And he said, yeah, but if you weren't at the very top, then you didn't climb it. It doesn't count. So I was like, okay, what do you do, tough guy? And he actually worked for Kohl's. And I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. He worked for JP Morgan. So he said, oh, I work for JP Morgan. And I said, no way, you are the CEO of JP Morgan? And he said, no, I'm not the CEO. I work in fixed income trading. And I said, oh, well then, I guess you don't really work for JP Morgan then, do you? Because if you're not at the very top, then it doesn't count. He's like, oh, that's totally different. Whatever.